All right, welcome in everybody. What's going on, Richard? How are you, man?
Doing good.
All right.
Awfully hot here though. 101 degrees.
Oh boy. Thanks for coming in tonight, Richard.
Sure.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. Get started in a little bit while we're waiting. See if we can test out the chat a little bit, see how that's working. Instead of hearing where you're from, because I'm a little tired of that. Let's hear about any successes that you've had this week. Last week we talked about tapping on stress, maybe connected to a health thing, maybe something else. But any successes, any starts this week, any evidence of a little bit of progress. We need to celebrate that progress as soon as it shows up. So, what have we done this week that maybe is a little new? I started a new workout routine yesterday. So 2 days in a row, I'm killing it. All right, Richard, one new client. That's huge, man. It's a very big thing. Jolanta, I finished that EFT 4-day workshop. That's an accomplishment right there. Anybody else have any successes, health or otherwise? Maybe a little tapping on the stress that we might have been holding, might have been assisting, helpful. Anything at all that we can share about how we're doing, how we're feeling. Letting people in. Any successes that you felt the last week, tapping on some stress, releasing anything that may have been holding you back, how it feels now? Recognize a few people from last week, so if you're here for a second time, I certainly appreciate it. All right, Holly, wonderful work, Holly. That is a hard thing to do. Takes a lot of bravery to do what you did. Thank you for being here and excellent work. Felicia set a boundary with a friend even though it was uncomfortable. That brings up a lot of old, younger parts, often where we don't feel safe setting the boundaries. And once we start being able to do that, it makes a huge difference. So excellent, excellent work, Felicia. Small steps are big steps. All right, Teresa, after my own heart there, tap to remove some physical pain. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. The emotions underneath that pain, they have their own messages. And when we lean into them, listen to them, tap on the stress connected to them, it can oftentimes make a huge difference. So wonderful work, Teresa. Anybody else with some successes? Oh, Marlene, tapping to the frustration of building your website. The first message. I am intimately familiar with that one. Just redid my whole website, learned WordPress, and then it broke 3 days later, which Ayana was kind enough to let me know. So thank you, Ayana. Not the way I wanted to spend my Sunday morning, but we did it. We got through it. All right, welcome in, welcome in. It's 6:03. People are still trickling in, so I'm going to keep the content. I'm going to wait another couple minutes. If you're just in here, we're just sharing any successes that we've had this week. Anything where maybe tapping on a little bit of that stress, anything that you've been holding, opened up a possibility that was not there before. Ah, Prachi. I know you did, Prachi. We talked earlier this week, and you made a lot of progress in a very short amount of time. So wonderful work, Prachi. Sometimes that surface stress, just a little bit of tapping, a little bit of easing into it makes a gigantic, gigantic difference. And tonight, we're going to work with the layer underneath the stress. Oftentimes, that layer underneath the stress has got something bigger underneath. And it's often very difficult to figure out what that thing actually is. But lucky for us, there's this beautiful tool called EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques, otherwise known as tapping. And I know I'm preaching to the choir a little bit because I see a lot of familiar faces out there. But there's oftentimes something underneath. And we're going to go that one layer down tonight. That quiet reason that the override keeps happening, that thing that you just can't put your finger on as to why that stress keeps coming. So if you have a health thing, a health change that keeps slipping in, I want you to bring that to mind now. And we're going to meet what's underneath it. And we're going to do that in three gentle passes because there's three different ways in which I have found in my time as a practitioner tend to help to uncover these blocks. Now, if you have an issue that is not a health issue, lucky for you, this process works just the same. So if it's not a health thing, maybe it's something else. But just for now, just for tonight, just for the next hour, hour and 15 or so, I want you to just let that issue into your consciousness a little bit. Let it into this space. We're not judging it. We're not trying to get rid of it. The more we push against these things, the harder they tend to come back. You can push for a while. It will work for a while, but eventually that pushing, that striving, that resistance will get to be too much and it'll come crashing back in. It'll come crashing back down. And that's not because you don't have enough willpower. It just means that you are attempting to override what's going on with the conscious mind, and the subconscious mind, the body, is going to win that battle. So, my suggestion is to stop fighting it. I have no interest in fighting the battles. I have no interest in a war on this or a battle on this or fighting this or fighting that. I have a lot of interest in working with it, with learning how and where to meet it. And I've worked with lots of people, and the stuff we're going to talk about, the actual experiences you're going to have tonight, are this beginning portion of that. It's the start. The entire goal tonight is not to have this gigantic release. All right? Right up front, I want to tell you that. No gigantic release tonight. What we are looking for is we're looking for what is underneath. We're looking for increased awareness and curiosity on top of that awareness. Whatever is going on underneath is stored in your body, and your body is not trying to fight you. Your body is trying to protect you, but my guess is whatever you're pushing up against, that thing that your body's been holding, it used to be self-care. It used to work. But perhaps that self-care has become outdated. Perhaps that self-care needs an upgrade. It needs to shift. It needs to change. So whatever's been stopping you is not a defect. It's a part of you that's been doing its job to keep you safe. We're not here to beat it. We are here to meet it. So set that goal, set that intention. And we're not looking to release this part, get rid of this part, have this big thing. We are looking to understand, increase awareness, and meet. That's what we're looking to do tonight. All right? And everything we do tonight is completely invitational. You can tap along, and I really highly encourage you to do so. You can listen, you can share in the chat, you can just notice. And I see a lot of you with your cameras on, and it really does help me if you turn your cameras on so I know I'm talking to actual human beings and not just sitting in front of my computer speaking to my webcam right here. So the more cameras, the more people I can see, the more I appreciate it. But if you're not in a position or you're not comfortable to do that, completely understandable. It's just fine, right? The other thing I need to say is that obviously I am not a doctor. This is stress and self-regulation work. It's supportive, but it's not a substitute for medical care. So if you are having an issue and you're working with a health issue tonight, I encourage you to stay, but this doesn't replace that care. It's a both and. We're not trying to like get rid of doctors and we're not trying to get rid of this thing or that thing. We're trying to find as many ways that we possibly can to support ourselves, to help ourselves move forward. And the way we're going to do that tonight is we're going to take three different approaches to find that hidden block, what is underneath. And we're going to do 3 rounds of tapping for each of those three different approaches. So maybe something will come up for you in the first one, or maybe not. Maybe the second, maybe not. Maybe the third, maybe not. Maybe all three, maybe none of them. I don't know. This is not a process that we can figure out. This isn't a linear step 1, step 2, step 3. This is a process of relaxing the body, acknowledging what is there, and then allowing that communication. So the more you can be open, the more you can be curious, the better this will go. And no matter what happens, you're going to be tapping a lot tonight. We're going to do at least 9 rounds. So even if nothing comes up, your body is going to leave more regulated, more at peace, more calm, more centered than the way you started. So let's get started. All right. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start working with those thoughts. And I know you have them because I have them. All right. That block that you feel isn't a defect, it's a job. What keeps derailing a change you consciously want is probably it could be a part of you that's trying to protect you. These parts aren't broken, they're not lazy, they're not out to hurt you. In the words of Richard Schwartz, there are no bad parts. They're just running an old program that they believe, that part of you believes will keep you safe. And that part of you will show up and it'll talk to you. It'll send you messages. I have no discipline. I always quit. I don't follow through. I give up. I'm not smart enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. All those things. I hear them all the time. I have a very strong inner critic, inner cynic, and I have learned over the years that the best way to work with that is to listen to it and tap with it. In fact, my inner critic, my inner cynic has talked to me so much that I used to believe that it was a fact. But I don't believe that anymore. I believe it's a part of me that was talking. It's often a younger part, but it's also a loyal part, still on duty, still trying to protect you from something that may have happened in the long past. So we're going to do 3 rounds of tapping to call in the body, call in the nervous system, and open up to that part, to get very curious about what is underneath. And then we're going to do those 3 rounds of tapping, and then I'm going to invite you to participate in a little bit of light breath work, just some diaphragmatic breathing with your eyes closed. And eyes closed is very helpful in this process because when you close your eyes, you get a flare of what we call those alpha brain waves. And that is the bridge between the conscious and the subconscious, between the mind and the body. And if we tap enough and we calm everything down and then we take some of those breaths, oftentimes that part underneath, that thing underneath, shows itself. And sometimes it doesn't, but oftentimes it does. So let's work with that tonight. So before we start, I want you to identify that one block and bring it to mind. What's the story you tell yourself about the thing that you want and about why it doesn't stick? That sentence that plays when you fall short. Find those words, whatever those words are, and just find them. And once you find them, just notice how intense they feel. The emotions connected with them. And if you'd like, jot down a number, 0 to 10. How intense does that feel? It always helps us to check back in our progress if we know where we started from. So all you need to tap along are those words and how intense it feels. And I see most people are looking up, they're not looking down and writing anymore. So thank you for having your cameras on so I can paste this appropriately. I appreciate that. And then we'll just start by tapping on the side of our hands. Mhm. We're going to do 3 rounds here. I encourage you to tap along with me. If my words are helpful, use them. If my words are not helpful, change them. But if you tap, you're going to feel differently. So here we go. Even though I keep telling myself this same old story about why I can't do this, why I fall short, why I'm not enough. And sometimes I push that away. But just for now, and right now, I'm allowing myself to hear those words very clearly. And it's okay to do that. I don't need to believe them, or I can believe them. I'm just hearing those words, that story I tell myself. Let's tap on the top of our heads. This old story, the one that says I can't. I've heard it so many times, side of the eye, that it starts to feel like a truth, like the truth. This limiting thought, I believed it, but it's just who I am. This story that's been running underneath, these words I repeat. If you have those words, say them out loud now. What are your words? I don't need to do anything with these right now. I'm just listening to them because there's something underneath. and underarm points. And right here, right now, I'm choosing just to notice them, not to fix it, but just to notice. And that's our first round. So you can take a breath, check back in on how intense those things feel now. When you're ready, back up to the side of the hand. And the more hands I see, the more I know that people are ready. And I think we got most people now. So let's tap along. Let's tap together again, even though I've been carrying this story. I've been hearing these words. And maybe they're not mine. Maybe they are. But either way, I've learned it somewhere from someone at some time. But it's not the whole truth. It's not every part of me, but it is a part of me. And that part isn't bad. That part's not trying to hurt me. It's trying to communicate something. It's trying to show me something. And it's okay for me to listen. But of course, I believed it. It's been repeated so many times. It may feel like a fact. It may feel like who I am. But it isn't all of me. I learned this somewhere. And at the time, it helped. At the time, it made sense. And I'm done blaming myself for it. It wasn't my fault. It may feel like my fault. But that's that other part, that younger part. And I'm accepting this part. I can hold this part gently. It might be younger. It might not know who I've become, what I'm capable of. So I'm asking this part to start communicating with me. I'm here. I'm listening. And this part isn't bad. And I'm on its side. I'm opening up to working with this part. And that's our second round. So you can tap on the side of your hand, tissue, Kleenex, yawn, notes, check back in on that original score. How intense that feels. Sometimes a little movement helps. If I've been tapping too long, like I need to just like shake it out a little bit. So feel free to do that anytime you need it. You get to do that. And because we listened to those exact words, and because we opened up ourselves to the possibility that there's a part there, maybe a younger part, and we accepted that it's there, now we can start to open up to the possibilities. What might become possible if instead of resisting this part, we meet it, we work with it. And so let's tap on that. Even though this story has felt true, I've heard this part so many times before, and I've pushed it away. It didn't feel safe then. But I'm open to the possibility that this part has been protecting me all along. So maybe those words, maybe they're not the whole truth. Maybe it's a part of me that's been trying to help. And I'm open now. Maybe I wasn't open before, but I'm open now to hearing that part, to really listening. What if it was protection? What if I'm allowed to ask that question? I'm allowed to meet this part with curiosity, with kindness, with compassion. Maybe I didn't know it was there before, and maybe I'm aware of it now. There's more here than I knew before, and I'm open to meeting that part, to getting to know it. I wonder how old this part is. I wonder what happened to that part. I wonder what it feels, what it's been protecting me from. And I'm open to that message and any message that this part has for me. And now I'm going to invite you to do a little breath work so you can stop tapping and just close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, if you can let a breath in through your nose and then out, however it's comfortable. On your next inhale, if you can, see if you can push that belly out first before your ribs and your chest expand. And if you really want to go a little deeper, visualize your lower back expanding as you push out your belly. That's going to deepen and slow that breath. And then just make your exhale a little longer than your inhale. Eyes are still closed. There's nothing to think about here. There's nothing to figure out. You're feeling into this. And lucky for you, your body knows exactly how to breathe so it can continue in this nice, calm, peaceful rhythm. And as your body just takes over that breath all together, you can relax your tongue. You can relax it on the floor of your mouth. You can relax it behind your two front teeth. It doesn't matter. Whatever feels natural and comfortable. And as you relax your tongue, you might feel any of the tension that you've been holding in your jaw start to melt. And it melts down from your jaw into your neck, into your shoulders, and it may even bring your shoulders down and back like a quarter of an inch. And then as you feel that relaxation, you can just soften your internal gaze. You can keep your eyes shut, but just see a large screen or pretend you're looking at a horizon, just relaxing that internal gaze, relaxing your eyes, relaxing your forehead. And then just notice. See if you can get a sense of that part. Tell it you're open, you're curious. Maybe you've been pushing before, pushing it away, but you're not pushing now. Just for now, you're allowing. And then see what comes through. Maybe you know how old that part is. Maybe you know how that part's feeling, what it's been protecting you from. Maybe you can even get a sense of when that part started protecting you. What happened to that part of you when it felt alone or powerless or its expectations were violated? We're not trying to fix this part. We're not trying to push it away. We are just here to listen to it openly and honestly. And when you're ready and that part's ready, you can open your eyes and just notice how intense that feeling, those words are now. And even better, what was that part? A voice, a younger you, a feeling, someone else's voice? We'll work on that next. And if you're feeling comfortable and you'd like to share what came up, I've got two options. You can put it in the chat so other people can see and know that they're not alone. Or you can use that little raise your hand feature at the bottom. I would love to not be the only person talking tonight. We're not going to do any work on this, but I'm just curious if anybody learned anything. So I'll wait. Anything you want to share in the chat? Or if you'd like to share out loud, if you'd like to unmute and tell me what came up, I'd like to hear because there are certain ways to work with this, and I would love to be able to discuss it. Lori, I haven't seen you in a long time, Lori. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. Thanks for doing this for us. Um, I accessed this constellation of energy without language.
Mhm.
So I'm speculating about what it contains, but I don't have language for it yet. or at all. So it's just there, and I'm just allowing its presence.
And that's a wonderful place to be, Lori. If we had more time to work one-on-one,
Hmm.
we would just feel into that feeling, and see where it goes and see what's connected. And oftentimes, as we get in touch and in tune with these parts of us, it's really beneficial. It's really helpful to just listen like you would with anyone else. The best listeners in the world don't tell you how to fix it. They don't push it away. They just ask, tell me a little more. And every time that they give us a little something extra, it's a little something extra that we can tap with, and we can find those things underneath. So thank you for sharing, Lori. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for your response. As I've been listening and hearing what you're saying to me, that part is relaxing more as it is receiving the permission to simply exist.
Yeah.
So thanks.
And I love that. I think that might be the smartest thing anybody said in the call today, Lori. As I listen to this part and as I relax more, it communicates more. And Richard found the shadow part somewhat scary to look at, and we could tap with that. The more that part knows that it's not relegated to the shadows forever, the more it can come into the light. And the more it comes into the light, the more we can work with it. Karen recognizes that part was protecting herself, but also protecting her mom. And what a huge thing for that part to take on, probably at a very young age. And probably yawned a lot, and the muscles relaxed. So maybe there's not a part there, or maybe there's a little more relaxation there, and we can find the next connected thing. No, Tanja with the rebellious teen. I tell you, those teenage parts, they're a thing, okay? As we all were when we were teenagers. No one is proud of who they were when they were 13. Right? I know I wasn't. But I do know that when you work with those rebellious parts, asking them why, leaning into what they're rebelling against, allowing them to share and express, opens up new avenues of healing, new possibilities. Sometimes that would be something to explore. Felicia, the part was feeling alone and wanting to run. And that is not an uncommon reaction. And the key there is to allow it. We don't force this part to get closer. We don't tell this part it has to talk to us. We're just there. We're just listening. We're inviting it in and getting to know it. And when we get in touch with those parts, the avenues and opportunities for healing really start to open up. But that's not the only way that we can find that hidden block underneath. There are more possibilities. Under that part, under that story, are often emotions. And the body remembers well before the mind explains. So that limiting thought, that limiting belief, or maybe even that part of you, can you feel that anywhere in your body? a sensation and location, or multiple locations, multiple sensations. Tonight, we're going to find where that feeling lives and just let it soften for a bit. And as we do, the body can start to release. And sometimes a memory will float up. And we can notice that memory and we can treat it like a door tonight. We don't need to open it tonight. Opening that door, that thing underneath, that's what one-on-one work is for. And when we're in this group setting, it's enough to see it. And we don't need to go towards it. We can just let the body settle a little. We can let those parts communicate with us. And it's enough just to loosen that grip just a little bit. And that's the shift we're after. We're after awareness. What is underneath? And what might be possible with a little more work? Okay. So that original block, that original sentence, or maybe that part, maybe that has an emotion connected to it. What might that emotion be? Where might you feel it? Check in with your body from your stomach to your chest to your throat, your shoulders, your head. Where do you feel it? What might that emotion be if you had to guess? What is that sensation? We just want to get curious about it. We're not looking to shift it. We're not looking to change it. We're just looking to notice it. Maybe it has a size. Maybe it has a shape. Maybe it has a texture. Maybe it has a color. You don't need all those things. They're just prompts to get you curious, to get you open to the emotions these parts are holding or your body's been holding, to the thing underneath. And let's tap on that now. See some people, fear in the solar plexus, in the neck. Wherever you're feeling it, it's enough to just notice it for right now. And get curious, get open. It's safe to feel this here. It's safe to feel this now. Just a little bit. Doesn't need to be all of it. Here we go. Use my words or change them. Let's tap on this 3 different rounds, even though there's this feeling underneath the story. If you know what that feeling is, say it out loud. And I can feel it in my body. Say where it is. Say how it feels, that size, shape, temperature, texture, color. Just say it and notice it. And just for now, it's enough to allow myself to notice it. Exactly where my body's holding it. All I'm doing is noticing and working with my body. So top of the head, this feeling underneath that story. And say that feeling. What is that feeling? I can feel it in my body. If you can feel it, say that location. Where is it showing up? Side of the eye. It's right here. And I'm noticing it. And notice it. The size, the shape, the temperature, the texture, the color, whatever it is, just notice it and say it. Under eye. Maybe I've carried this a long time. This tightness, this heaviness, whatever it is, say what it is. My body's been holding this. Collarbone points, and maybe I've been pushing it away. Maybe it was uncomfortable to feel, but I can feel it now. I'm noticing it now. And that's enough. I can just notice it. The emotion, the locations, the sensations. All I need to do, underarm points, is notice it. And that's it. And that's that one round. So I see a lot of yawns, a little movement. Noticing how those sensations and locations, those emotions, how intense they feel now after just one simple round of tapping. Not changing, just noticing. I'm going to get some water too because I've been talking a lot. And let's move into some acceptance. Whatever acceptance we can find. Doesn't have to be all the way, but maybe a little bit more. Just a little bit more than was there before. Or not. Even though this feeling is here and my body's been holding it for a reason. And maybe I've been pushing it away, but I'm not right now. I'm working with my body. It's been trying to protect me, and I appreciate that protection. And of course, this has been here. My body's been protecting me. And it makes sense. This feeling makes sense. And I'm not pushing it away. Just for now, I can let it be here. My body's been on my side. It was just too hard to feel. But in this moment, and in this place, I'm allowing in a little acceptance. A little more than was there before. I'm just making room for it. And that's enough. A little space, a little room, a little more acceptance than I had before. And that is round 2. So if you need a little movement, a little water, a little whatever, nice big yawns. Love to see those. Means I'm doing my job. And because we acknowledge those emotions, those sensations and locations in the body, because we accepted that they were there even a little bit more than we had before, if it's not safe to accept it all the way, then you don't have to. Yes, Karen, and the burps, they come too. That's the beauty of being on Zoom, isn't it? You can let those things happen. And it's just fine. And it'd be fine in person too. Just a little less socially awkward on Zoom. Thanks for the honesty. Mhm. And let's do this third round, just opening up to a little bit more possibility. Even go. Here we go. Even though this feeling may have been heavy to carry, and I may have been pushing it away, but I'm open to the possibility of letting my body know that it's safe to settle, even just a little bit. It can do that right now, if it's ready. And if it's not, I'm not done tapping. Maybe it'll be ready in a little bit, or maybe not. I'm meeting myself. I'm meeting my body exactly where I'm at. And it's a little safer to feel this. I'm giving my body permission to settle just a little bit more. Side of the eye. Maybe I don't have to hold it so tight. Maybe I don't need to push it away all the time. I'm just noticing how it feels now. Maybe a little less than before. Letting my body know that's okay. Under nose. This feeling is allowed to soften. It's allowed to move. Under mouth. It's allowed to change. I'm not in charge of this. All I'm doing is noticing collarbone points and giving my body permission to let a little bit of it release. Just a little bit more. And stay on those collarbone points and ask this question. When did I first learn this? When did this begin? What happened? And if something comes up, you don't have to go into it. Now's not the time or place for that. It's enough to just see where this might have began. Letting your body know that's okay. It's possible to work with this, but just not right now. Now's not the time. Now's the time to let a little bit of release, a little bit of ease, a little bit of comfort. underarm points. And maybe I saw where this began. Maybe I didn't, but it's okay. I'm letting my body know it's okay. Wherever this began, it's possible. It's possible to let this go a little bit more. And we don't have to go into that today. We're not going in today because that was enough. And take a breath. That was a lot of tapping, and I am a little curious. Did anybody find anything? Anybody notice where this might have began? And that can be sensitive sometimes. So if you're feeling like that needs to stay private, keep it private. But if you're feeling like sharing or talking about it a little bit, might feel comfortable, you can put it in the chat. You can use the raised hand feature. And we can talk about it a little more because the more we share what's happening with us, the more everybody else here knows that they are not alone as well. I'll give everybody a second or two. And if everybody wants to keep it private, they can. But if anyone wants to share or talk, that's what we're here for. Hmm. That's interesting, Roma. Yeah, sometimes we get these things that come from places we don't understand. And we're not in charge of judging whether that happened or not. But when working with somebody, we can lean into those sensations. We can lean into those images, just accepting what they are and seeing what's underneath. So thank you for sharing, Roma. I appreciate it. And letting it soften is really important. Felicia, yep. A lot of these events that have these blocks start when you're very young. And some of those things are school trauma, and those beliefs can have implications that ripple through the years. Beliefs like, I'm not smart enough, I can't learn this. All from those very young things. And we can go back in and we can release and help that younger part and find those moments. Well, it doesn't have to stay stored in the body. The next time you need to learn something, the next time it'd be beneficial or helpful, that process gets a little easier. That's not for tonight, but Felicia, that's possible. That is something that can happen. And now we got our third and final phase. Now, this one is the trickiest one. Okay. Now, I'm going to say some things here, and I'm going to share a story. Because sometimes when we talk about this next part, it can upset people. This next thing we're going to work with, we're going to talk about is called secondary gain. Sometimes this block has lasted a long time because it's protecting something. The body wants to keep you in the familiar. There are three things I want you to know about your body. And number one is it does not care about your happiness. It only cares about keeping you alive. And number two, it does not care about linear time. There's no linear time for the body. Every moment is right now. And number three, your body only cares about your safety and keeping you alive, and you are currently here, which means it thinks it's doing an excellent job and it is not going to stop. It's going to keep you in the familiar. So sometimes these blocks offer a safety, a comfort, an advantage that you would quietly lose if you changed. And you are highly unlikely to be aware of that consciously. You are consciously choosing this other thing, and this stuff keeps getting in the way of it. And I know that happened to me. Okay? A little over 10 years ago, I got a condition called complex regional pain syndrome in my right foot, and it's just as much fun as it sounds. Okay? And if someone would have told me that my pain was offering me a safety or a comfort or an advantage, I'd have punched them. I would have most likely fallen down though, because it was in my right foot and I couldn't touch a bed sheet to the bottom of my right foot. So it would have been very awkward and kind of embarrassing, but I would not have been ready to accept that. But there was a secondary gain there. My body was telling me I needed to stop. I needed to reassess. And there were things that I needed to let go of, and there were things in my life that I needed to hold on to. And my priorities were not straight. And I believe my body sent me that pain to give me that time, that reflection, and that change. And I can say that now, 11 years later, but I could not have said it then. So it is possible that whatever is blocking you is trying to protect you. And naming that payoff helps to loosen it. We're not ripping that protection away tonight, man. That part will just dig in, that gain will just stick in there. But just seeing maybe what it's been guarding you from, what is in the familiar that's helping you or used to help you. Just seeing it a bit, helping it finally relax is enough for tonight. So we worked with the younger parts. We worked with the emotions and the possible events. And now we're going to open up to the possibility of why this block has stayed there. And if you can find that payoff, you found a real possibility for the map of future work, those younger parts, those moments. And what about the familiar is, in your body's opinion, keeping you safe, despite all your intentions, all your thoughts, everything you want. Maybe there's something that's staying where you are now with that issue, with that block, is actually benefiting you in a weird way. Let's open ourselves up to that possibility. Let's start thinking about this. Who would I be if I actually did follow through? If I actually made this change? What would I have to do? What's my body been protecting me from? How might this change that I want, that I've been thinking about, how could that not be safe? You're not going to find a logical answer here. You gotta lean into the emotions, lean into the feelings, lean into the things that come, and let's tap on that. All right, so side of the hand, here we go. Even though maybe this part of me that's been keeping me stuck, maybe it's been doing that for a reason. And I'm opening up to the possibility of considering that it's been protecting me from something. And it's okay to see a little bit of that. I'm allowing myself to feel that. But a part of me has been keeping me here. I don't want to stay here. I've been thinking about going somewhere else. But maybe there's some protection. Maybe there's a purpose that I just haven't seen. Under eye. Maybe being stuck has kept me safe from something. I wonder what that is. Maybe change is risky. Under mouth. Maybe a part of me isn't sure it's safe. Collarbone points. This hidden reason to stay the same. Maybe I've never noticed it. But right here and right now, I'm willing to see a little more. To see how it's been protecting me. All right, that's one round and back to the side of the hand, little movement, little water. Anything you need? I see some people jotting some things down. Maybe some realizations are coming up. Capture those things now, people. And I'm tapping on the side of my hand, looking for all my beautiful people with their cameras on. Or I can see when you start tapping, I'll know when it's time, but I'm not in a huge hurry. I'm ready to wait. Because patience and noticing, that's way better than pushing and forcing. It took me like 43 years to figure out. But there it is. Okay. Here we go. Even though this part of me that's been holding me back, maybe it's actually been loyal. Maybe it was never against me. Maybe that's possible. Maybe this part of me isn't the enemy. Eyebrow point. Or maybe it's been loyal to me. Side eye. Maybe it's been keeping me safe. The only way it knew how. So I'm done trying to fight it. It doesn't work anyway. Maybe I can try something different. Maybe I can thank this part for trying to help me. Maybe it wasn't trying to sabotage me. Maybe it was trying to protect me. And I'm inviting this part in. with all my other parts. I contain so many. And I'm inviting this part in, accepting it just as it is. Accepting this part and accepting all of me. All right, beautiful work. We got one last round. So a little movement, a little stretch, tissues, water. Yes, and thank you, Richard. It is not a burn. I fell rock climbing and scraped my arm and bit my lip, but thankfully it's gone down enough that I can be on camera and not look like I just got Botox in my lips. Or maybe I did. I'm just making that up. You never know. It's possible. All right, last round together, everybody. Thank you for being here. Here we go. Let's open up to the possibilities of connecting to this part. Connecting to that secondary gain, that thing that maybe you couldn't see before, but maybe you can see a little bit now that it was protecting. So here we go. Even though this part has kept me safe by keeping me stuck. And I'm open to letting it know that there's a safer way. And I want to work with that part, not against it. That never worked anyway. So I'm accepting this resistance. I'm accepting this part, whatever it's been protecting me from. I'm done fighting. It's time to accept. Accept this part. Accept myself. So we can move forward. Forward together. Top of the head. So maybe there's a safer way now. Maybe I can accept this part. I don't have to do it alone. And neither does this part of me. I'm allowed to change. And I can do it safely. I can do it slowly. It's not a race, but it is a process. And it is a practice. Under nose. And I'm practicing now. I can keep the protection. I can work with the part and let it know I can still move forward. So I'm seeing it now. It wasn't willpower. It wasn't a lack of effort. It wasn't information. It wasn't the right plan. And it certainly wasn't self-sabotage. It was just a part of me that was protecting me. And I'm welcoming that part, inviting it in so we can work together and find the way best forward for this part, for my body, and most importantly, for me. I deserve to move forward, and I can. Maybe with a little bit of help, and that's okay. Everyone needs a little bit of help. And I helped myself. And I did it tonight. All right, people, take a breath and just notice how all of that feels. Anything that you want to share in the chat would be wonderful. I'm always curious about what's going on because, you know, I never know. While you're considering sharing, I did take the time to make a little resource that outlines in a broad sense what we did tonight. And if Zoom's not your thing and you don't want to click on the link because you'll lose the picture, which happens, by the way, I will send it out and I'll send it out in the replay. So if you don't get it now, you'll get it later. Okay? But just a little resource in how to find your hidden blocks, the thoughts, the feelings, the payoff. Process that we did. Thank you, Richard. I love that you're a little more relaxed, more accepting. Those scary parts tend not to be too scary when you actually invite them in. Now, I'm going to do one more of these, and I'm going to do it next Wednesday. Because you are here, you're already registered. But maybe you know somebody that you think might benefit and might help from this. And we're going to do something a little different next week. We're going to do a little bit of tapping, but we're going to lean in more to how having somebody be there, supportive, curious, asking the right questions, helping you come to the decisions and the things that you actually want to do to follow through on this. Tapping and releasing is wonderful. Believe me, I know. I've been doing this a while and I love it. What I love even more is when we start to take the realizations in these group sessions or in a one-on-one individual session and we start to put it into practice. We start to move into different and new possibilities. And that can be hard to hold on your own. The information, the plan, that's not hard. Mhm. That's a quick search. That's a quick AI thing. It's a quick whatever. Information is not the issue, people. It's understanding what's getting in the way and then having somebody who's really there with you in your corner, helping you to decide what would be the best thing for you to experiment with in your life. Because these large blocks, these things, they rarely release in a single session. We take a layer or two off, and then, I mean, in my opinion, the best thing to do then is to go apply it in the real world in your day-to-day life and get triggered again. Go find, do something new and get uncomfortable. Because I talked about this in the first call. You don't want a stress-free life. Cortisol has a bad rap. Stress, difficulty is how we grow. It's just when you don't have someone on your side or you don't have a way in which to release that where it gets stuck on and then it starts to become detrimental. That's what we don't want. But the goal here isn't beaches and Mai Tais. That is a goal for a while, by the way. That's a beautiful thing to do. And I love beaches and I love Mai Tais. And I like to do that for 2 or 3 days. And then after that, I want to do something hard. I want to do something that makes me grow. And if you are like that, or if you're stuck and you ever just want to talk about what's going on, the whole focus of this stuff has been EFT and health and EFT and health coaching. But this process that we did tonight is not exclusive to just health. it is there for any block that you're experiencing. And I do have EFT only approaches available. And if you ever want to talk about if it's right for you, there's an absolutely free way of connecting. Yes, and Karen, rock climbing, maybe I shouldn't have done the V4. It's entirely possible. Perhaps I should have stuck to the V2s. But, this thing would heal if it wasn't right where I typed. Like it goes right where I type, and so I rip it open every time I sit every time I sit at a computer, which is far too often. But anyway, you ever want to talk, use the link. You think anybody could benefit from what we're doing here? Share that registration link. You are already registered for the next one, and I will send out a notification a day before. If you lost the registration, as a couple of you did, I see a couple of you here, I'll just send it to you again. You know, Zoom is what Zoom is. But I will be here next Wednesday. I hope you will be here with me too. And anything you want to talk about, any of those blocks, anything that you experienced that came up today, I just want you to know that you do not have to be alone. If it's getting in your way and you can see the possibilities that are opening up in front of you with this little bit of group tapping about what avenues and horizons can show up for you, then let's have a conversation. And if not, I want to thank you for being here. You've been a wonderful group, all the tapping, everything. And if you'd like to unmute and say goodbye or say anything at all, I'll let you. But it's time to get out of here. I got a date tonight. So I got to rock and roll here. All right, let's go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a good night.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for
Good
being
night.
here.
Thank you.
Bye.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Bye-bye. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.